Hello, and thank you for joining us again on this human design collaborative journey. Here today with Ta Groen. I'm lucky to get to ask her some questions today. I'm Diana Marie from Transcending Ascension and from Living with Our Human Design. Ta, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. We just had our holiday and it's settling into December. Very exciting here in San Diego. I love it.
Excellent, excellent. That's amazing. Yeah, we were discussing earlier, we're having a bit of a different weather there from San Diego to Canada.
Yeah, about 30 degrees warmer over here.
Yes, yes, beautiful, beautiful. I'm well, happy Thanksgiving. We have ours in October. I hope yours was a good one.
It was excellent. Lots of food, lots of food. I, in fact, put up a relieve digestion on my YouTube channel, Healing Touch Vinyasa. There's a new video up that I put up yesterday to help relieve
Oh,
digestion. Yeah, so
that
good.
is very helpful for people, anybody that's eating toxic food, it's helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Sugar, pies.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
all of
yes.
that. Yeah, yeah. Wonderful. Happy to be here.
Lovely. Perfect. Well, today I am very excited about our topic because it's something that is so profound in human design, but you don't initially come across it when you're learning. It's something I even took a certification in human design and it wasn't even mentioned. And you'd already told me that it's a lot more intricate than a quick little course to learn human design, and it is true. So today we discuss the incarnation cross and all that that means for us. So Ta, do you want to start us off by giving us the description of what the incarnation cross is?
All right. So I love speaking with you, Diana, because it gets me into this simplistic way of describing things. And so you help me articulate that it has to do with your profile, your 1-3 profile. And that when you were listening to somebody discussing it, they hadn't mentioned that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that is where we start. So if you, for example, are a 1-3, I'm a 6-3. Where do we get those numbers? Those numbers are from your incarnation cross. So
And
yeah, go ahead.
well, because the person that described it in the video I watched said your top numbers on left and right, and
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard that. Like, it didn't even correlate to me that that meant profile numbers. So, if you want to explain what top number even means, are we talking literal top? Are we talking the highest percentage? It more sounds like. What does the top in this description mean?
Right, right. So again, the most I'm going to share screen and let's go there to just give a full-on logical description of what that is. Can you see my little arrow?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so up here on your personality side, we have this 11-1 and this 2-1. And after that dot is your profile number. Your 1 is your profile. And this is the sun and this is the earth. So that is part of your incarnation cross right there. And then the other side, the unconscious side, you have a 6.3. That 3 is your profile. And this is 6 is the gate where that is located. So you're a 1-3 profile on an incarnation cross of the gate 11 and 12 and the gate 6 and 36. So if we go to the data here, you're on the right angle cross of Eden, 11, 12, 6, 36, and your profile is that 1-3 profile. So do you see how it intertwines? And how that is yeah,
Is
so
that I would have to ask a few more questions to know for
okay,
sure. Is
all right.
that the 11-12? It looked like that's the ajna and the throat we were looking at there that you called the head or the sun and the earth. If everybody was looking at that, are we always looking ajna throat? And is it always sun earth? Like, where are the correlations there?
All right, let me add this again too so that we can see. So your incarnation cross and your sun is 11-1, and that's unique to you. and it's in this ajna, which is exactly what you said. But mine is different, because my cross is different. I have a let's find my chart. Let's see, where is Ta? Ta's here. I'm a 64-6. I'm up here in the gate 64, up here in the head center. So does that answer your question? So it's
So
very
more, it's
unique.
just birthing more questions. So where is this information coming from? How is this determined that mine is the ajna and the throat and that's sun earth and yours look like the crown and another part? How was that determined?
Oh
What
my
is
gosh.
coming down through that's marking those?
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. You are just like so on point. So I don't think we've ever shown our audience what the mandala looks like. So that's the mandala. Do you recognize that
I
as
recognize it looks a lot like a mandala, and I knew that a mandala was used to help make human design. So if you want to walk us through that, that'd be fantastic.
wow. Okay. So we have the I Ching on the outside, which corresponds to the DNA, our DNA, and also the Kabbalah. That's what I was trying to find. I found the word. So the DNA and the Kabbalah and the I Ching, they all have this geometry to them that is the 64 hexagrams. Okay. And so that's the outside. And then we have the inner planets. And then we have our body graph. And so when you are born, there's two data points. One data point 3 months before you're born. And so if we were to just look at the design, like what the calculations are for the design, which is the unconscious, 3 months before you're born. Let's see if we can get that. Yeah. So then, oh my gosh, this is fascinating. I love this. So these are the dates that are imprinted 3 months before you're born. And that's how you get these activations on the gates here. Do you see that? Does that make sense so far?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And so then we'll change the view and we'll go to the personality side, and the personality represents the eternal spirit of us, what we think we are eternally. Like it literally is our soul spirit, our the sense of who we think we are. So it becomes our conscious. And so then those are the dates or the data that are imprinted on that. And then you put the whole thing together and you get your connection between the red and the black, and that becomes a forced marriage of who we are. And the top representation of our frequency is the sun and the earth, and that becomes our profile and becomes our incarnation cross.
Okay, so it's
So
the
yeah,
sun and the earth for everyone.
yes, for everyone. So
Okay.
yeah, let's do that.
But
So
everybody's
yeah,
sun and earth might be different. So, because I've heard
absolutely.
people mention, that's another episode or question I had for you at some point, is I've heard in discussions, and again, they discuss it like everybody just knows this is fact, but they'll be like, oh, well, your Venus is blah and your this is in blah. And it's like, okay, you're saying that like I know what that means.
Right.
So everybody has their placements, I guess just like astrology,
Yeah,
your placements can fall in different zodiac signs depending
absolutely.
on when. Okay.
Yeah, and so that's the beautiful thing. It lines up with astrology because of that, because of all the planets. So, do you want me to go into what the sun represents?
100% yes.
Okay, okay. So the sun and the earth. So let's do the let me get to my place where we're reading this, and let's see. This is the earth, so I want to do the sun first. So this is amazing. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. I love this. I love this. This is like 56. I'm 56.
Well, 36.
Oh, I love you so much. All right. So, this is from Instagram, from my place where I went to school, in International Human Design School with Linda Bunnell. And for those of you that don't know, I just have to share this. Um, Linda hadn't even created the school website yet when I went through the 3-year program. That's how far back I have been with human design. So in 2006, and I think she started a couple years later. So yeah, I was the second graduating class from the International Human Design School. So anyways, this is their Instagram now, and they have all the planets, and this is the sun, part of our incarnation cross. So the sun in our chart represents our core energy, our primary yang force. It is our self, as well as what we do, and represents a theme of our incarnation cross. So the sun represents the archetype of the father. This is the father energy. Our personality sun is how, and what's the personality side? Quiz.
A personality is not the soul. There's personality, there's the soul part that's the unconscious, and the personality is the conscious.
Right. And what colors are they?
Well, it depends because mine's different than yours
Oh,
that
that's
way.
right. That's
For
right.
me, it's pink blue, and then for you, it's you have black red,
Black.
I think.
Yeah. Black,
Yeah.
red. Yes. Good. Good. Yeah. So our personality sun is how we express our light into the world. I mean, think about that. The sun is light. And our design sun represents the genetic themes we have inherited from our father, literally the dad DNA from 7
Oh,
generations
so I'm already
past.
seeing a theme. Sun, earth is father, mother.
Yes, you're so smart. You're so smart. And then, so the sun and the earth cannot be separated. They're the prime yin and yang within us. Yeah, you are already 2 steps ahead. Whenever you see the sun, either conscious or unconscious, in an undefined center, it is as though this person's light. Oh, okay, this is really important for you. I'll read this. I'll start again. Whenever you see the sun, either conscious or unconscious, in an undefined center, it is as though this person's light is locked up in a room with all the shutters closed. They cannot find consistent access to 70% of who they are. Thus, the seduction of the harmonic gate is huge because the person hooks them up to their inner light. Okay, and so this is you. That
Yes.
shutter
What's that?
thing.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. What's the harmonic gate?
Okay, I'll
That so
show.
stay because it said stay hooked up to that. If I know
Okay,
what it is, I will.
let's go back to you, Diana. Um, there you are, and let's go to the regular view so we can see a little bit of you. Okay, so you see that your 11th gate is in that sun, and it's on a open center. And so just, just for fun, maybe you can guess what the harmonic gate is
The
in that.
crown?
The harmonic gate, or the gate that is missing from your 11th. I mean, the gate this is like an antenna. So the harmonic gate is to bring completion,
Is it
harmony.
specifically for me then? My
Yes.
harmonic gate will matter specifically for me. Is it going to be one of my defined centers then?
No.
No?
One
Hmm.
more one more chance. So it's like an antenna, and
I would say it's
it's
not
a
the crown.
nope.
Oh, the root?
Nope. All right, I'll share. So it's the you're reaching out, you want to harmonize frequencies with the 56. Right there. See that?
And
That gate
why?
56.
Okay, and it's specific for me. So why is that my harmonic gate? How do we determine this if someone was looking?
Because you are anybody who's on an open center with 70% of who they are, which is the sun. This is your light. Your light can't shine because the shutters are closed until you meet somebody with the harmonic gate 56. So
Okay,
that's
so I need to find like an actual person with a 56.
yes.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm gonna check everyone I know now.
Yeah, that's how it works. It's like pieces of a puzzle.
Interesting.
And
Which
then
Greek
you're
philosophy has been telling us forever.
yeah, yeah. And so you still haven't found it with me. You haven't found it with
Because
me.
you have that cut off too.
I
Yes,
have it cut off so we can get caught in the weeds up here if we're not careful. You
that's
know what I
fun.
mean? Isn't that
Mhm.
funny?
I
Yeah.
gotta check. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I have
Yeah.
I have some suspects I can think that it might be now. Because there's
Yeah.
people that like that get me in a way that no one else does, in a way that sees me clearer than me, and that's rare. So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So that is how that works. And that what does that mean then? That means that in order for your incarnation, let me remove this. In order for your incarnation or your purpose to come forward, you have to be around people. You have to get impacted with people. Isn't that amazing?
That's my worst fear.
People?
I've literally, yeah, because yes, oh yeah, I'm a star seeding anxiety ridden. I don't mind people I'm comfortable with, but with large crowds and like that whole
Yeah.
empath story. So my whole thing of being starting online and like pushing online and like I push harder and I have success, but like I push harder than the success. You know what I mean? And I've just always been like, oh God, you want me to work in person, don't you? And so I've already started looking into that.
Right. But you are a projector, and projectors are here to do one on one. They're not necessarily here for presenting or interacting with large groups. They do better one on one. So, yeah. So that's what we're doing. Even though I don't
Yes.
even though I don't bridge your I don't give you that harmonic gate or give you access to more communication. There's other things though.
You're
Let's go
still very
back.
grounding from a Virgo to a Sagittarius. That's huge impact right there.
Yeah, what I can see though is that my throat, see how defined my throat is to the ego? That I voice. So if anything, I'm helping and impacting you to get that voice out the way you want, with that ego
Yes.
power through the throat, because your throat is undefined. And there it is, that 12th gate. See, it's the when we get to the earth, that's what helps you open up the shutters on the next one, on the earth, that feminine side. I definitely help you there because of how my
Oh,
throat impacts you. So
okay.
does that make sense? Does
Yeah,
that
where
make
was that gate? Show me again which gate that Earth one was. So we're looking at
12?
so if the other person has a 12.
No, if it's so interesting. Let's see. We can go deeper here. So let's go back though to the 11 on an open center. You see how I impact you? So anytime somebody's going to define your ajna, you will have access to that 11th gate.
If they have a defined ajna. Okay.
Yeah. So I take that back. I am helping you accentuate and activate your 11th gate just because I have a defined head and ajna. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, so that's it. And only 30% of the planet have defined head and ajnas. So I'm here to help support you. Right? 70% have open head and ajnas. And so then we can go to the throat and realize that only 30% of the planet have open throats. So that's more rare. And then you'll be getting access to people who have colored in throats, defined throats. So
That,
you'll be able
that's
to activate that second part, that 12th gate easily, because most of the people you come in contact with have a defined throat.
You know what? I have like real life. That's interesting because you say the majority of the population are open headed and Ashnod, and I end up appearing like when I like to hang out with people, I like to hang out with intellectual people. Like that's who my friend group was, like that's who I am. But I always looked like I didn't match them because the way I talked was more brazen and I would be all over the place and have ideas when they were like study, learn. And they were just very smart. And that's just who I gravitate towards. But it's interesting where the disconnect would be. And then the majority of the population though, I have no problem, but then it's like not intellectually stimulating. It's like I can fit in there and they think I'm smart, but it's like, but do I want to be there? I'd rather be with the smart people and look less smart than like, and no,
Hmm.
no judgments to any group, but it's just
Right.
interesting to see why I fit nowhere.
But how do you pull that into human design? Do you think that you hang out with more defined head and ajna people? That's like what you gravitate towards,
Probably
people
because
who
they make me feel more like I feel like better around smart people.
yeah.
Like I just do. And I'd rather like
You're so
sound
cute.
silly around them. They kind of roll their eyes at me. They usually think I'm
Yeah.
amusing, but
Yeah.
I just feel more comfortable.
But it's so interesting because even though somebody may have a defined head and ajna, that may not mean that they're smarter, or
Oh,
you know what
okay.
I mean? You
Yeah,
don't,
because
we
you are
can't
and
tell.
my husband are, and you're both intelligent. My husband's super intelligent,
And
and
he has
he's
defined
got
head
both
and ajna.
defined. Yeah,
Ah,
he's
it's
very
a good.
defined.
It's a
Yeah, and
good
then
experiment. We'll have to look at some more defined head and ajna people. Maybe you're accurate. Maybe that is true. That the more, you know, book smart or intellectual. Like I was a nerd. Like
yes.
I
Yeah,
was
so
really
was I technically, but like I never was as nerdy as my other friends.
okay. Got it. Got it. I love this. This is so funny. Just pulling real life experience into like defined head and ajna. Let's see. Are they really smarter? Who knows? Yeah, so
It's
that's
so
that's where I
true.
want to draw the line. I'm not sure. Cuz we can be
Yes.
really yeah. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go to my incarnation cross. And this
Yes.
is really important because 70% of who I am, my 64th gate, is this very stubborn, reliable, maybe what do you call it? Stuck in a rut, or like, yeah, could be narrow-minded, right? Because it's so fixed and reliable. So on the flip end, if I were really super conditioned, that I could be perceived as somebody not open-minded or intellectual. I could just be very narrow and rigid, right?
It's
Do-
true, yes, because you can get everything determined, it gets determined by your upbringing. So, like, your chart is always overlaid on your upbringing as well. And you'll have variables in there just based on what mom and dad actually did and or friends and early, just moving around a lot. Like, it all depends. These things can change you.
Right. And so the incarnation cross for me, my sun and my earth are in my head. So yeah, I just wanted to share that if I were doing my not self, it could look very rigid and not flexible or open-minded. And that's not intelligent. No. We want more fluidity, open-minded. But there's other things in my chart that kind of balance that out. So thank goodness.
Well,
have
yeah,
a
and it
lot.
sounds like your upbringing would have done a lot of that too. Just moving from Canada to America would keep you open. I just, from what I know of the Baha'i faith, that would be very open. Like there's things that would be there that would not instill such a rigidity, which is interesting. And I'm lucky I had open heads and stuff because my dad was very, I love him, but very, this is the rules, this is the way it is, this is what they're, and we were atheists. I'm a realist, and he was very bup. So if I had have gotten stuck in that, oh ho ho ho, I was
Wow.
temporarily like held back by it because it like was
Wow.
still within me. But luckily, I think the openness allowed it to like go through me for the most part.
Wow, I love you. You're so bright with that insight because I actually was raised by hippies.
Yeah,
Hip,
I figured with the Baha'i because
yeah.
usually it
Oh
runs
my
that
gosh.
way.
Yeah, and so the freedom, there's not a lot of yeah, wow, you got it. You got it. So that helped with my extremely rigid mind. Yeah. Wow. Mm. Good job there.
That's
See,
good.
you're just a natural.
Well, it just I don't know. I often wonder, not that I have actual insights, but like the Carl Jung work and pairing spirituality with psychology, just it's just my niche. And I don't know where it's growing from, but that's what I do like
Yeah.
in one-on-one. It's
Yeah.
all therapy, but like
Yeah.
completely occultized.
Yeah. And then when we speak in human design language, we call it genetic continuity.
Mm,
That my environment is there to nurture my purpose, my incarnation cross. Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, it all lines up in the sacred geometry that we talk about. Like it's beyond us to even fathom how this is all orchestrated.
I'm working
And
on it.
yeah,
I've been
and
studying Dan Winters now. The video I sent you, I've been going down his rabbit hole. I'm like, I will know this stuff.
good, good. Yeah, I need to watch that again. All right. So, does that mean we can move on to what the Earth is?
Yes, that's
Read
great.
that one. Read that one for us, and
Mhm.
I'll go back so that you can, as I'm reading, you can see where your Earth is, which is in the 12th gate here, and your Earth gate is over here, which is I think the most hot spot or trigger place or amount of growth for you is the 36th gate, which is down here in your Earth. So think about the emotions as we're talking about the earth and the feminine energy, the yin energy, and think about your ajna as that feminine energy as well coming. No, I'm sorry. The throat as that feminine nurturing energy as I read the description from the International Human Design School on their Instagram page. All right, so the planets, the earth. Human design begins with the basic duality of the sun and the earth. They cannot be separated. Many, many attributes given to the moon and Venus in astrology actually belong to the earth in the human design system. Earth represents the archetype of the mother. The earth is where we find our grounding and our gravitational home. The energy of the sun has to be translated by the earth. It's in our bodies that the neutrino stream is grounded. The sun and the earth always operate together and are located opposite in the mandala. So remember that mandala we showed? They're the opposite. It provides the primary yin balance and is the archetype of the mother. We find conscious balance when we're able to integrate the personality, which is the black for me, the right, the one on the right, correctly in our lives. So let me repeat that. We find conscious balance when we're able to integrate the personality correctly in our life, and we find our stability or unconscious balance when we come to grips with the world of form. Okay, world of form in through emotions. The earth is the backbone of our stability. The more grounded we are, the clearer our light will shine. Isn't that great? I just love the way they word their planet. So go. going through all the planets on the International Human Design School Instagram is fascinating. I've saved them all. So all of the planets, because then you have the moon, the nodes, they have the descriptions of every aspect of what these represent. So yeah, that's a
So,
lot.
yeah, I love it. My earth then is in the throat.
Yes.
And they're on the mandala side to side. So that's kind of like your north node and your south node are very vital information in your astrological chart to know about your life and how to improve it. So it's like the same thing, but it's actually different. Like the descriptions of my north to south node do not match the sun to earth here. So that's interesting. And
I'm not following. So you're saying that so you're bringing in the nodes.
I'm
Why
just
are you
bringing polarity, like that polarity being super important in the chart. You see
right?
that as well in astrology. They just have, it's like a whole different polarity you're looking at.
Okay, got it, got it. And so you're on a personal note, that throat is how you nurture the feminine, bring in the mother, bring in the right, all of those keynotes of archetype of the mother. It's how you balance. It provides a primary yin balance. It's how you balance that 11th gate. Remember, the
Mhm.
11th gate is very cerebral and masculine. And then your voice comes in and gets activated, and you start to nurture and bring in that mother energy. So that's how I see it on your on your conscious side. How does that resonate with your body when we talk about that? The masculine, ajna, right?
Yeah.
And then
How is that
the
presenting itself? Because I can visualize the feminine throat. How is the 11 masculine ajna presenting itself?
well, think about mind and how it conditions us, and we're not supposed to use our mind to make decisions for ourselves. So maybe if you were too active in the male side and you wanted to, be ambitious and initiate and be active and conditioned by the matrix, your 11th gate would take over. But we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to go into your spleen.
Mm-hmm.
So, how
Yes.
difficult is it for you when you
That
have,
explains how I used to run things. So
yeah,
yes, and still
how
fight
difficult?
against running
Yeah,
things. So the throat could help ease that. That's very interesting because when
yeah.
I get very stressed, I just start singing. That's how I ease any stress. You want sound healing,
Oh,
instantly
oh
do
my
it.
gosh. So that's what you just did. That's amazing. So we know that her 11th gate, Diana's 11th gate, is very masculine energy. It's her conscious mind. It wants to rule, it wants to take over, it wants to be ambitious, it wants to run and initiate in the matrix. Not right, because she's supposed to go into the spleen. And when she gets overwhelmed, how can she soothe and bring in some of that nurturing energy? She says she sings. She's like, okay, fine. I'm
I'm a
gonna
Disney
res.
princess. Yeah.
I'm gonna go into my frequency of my voice to soothe my whole system so that I can get down into the body, literally through sound vibration, and come into the spleen. Oh my gosh, that makes me want to cry. That's very powerful. That's very, very powerful. Do you feel that?
Yes. Yeah, it's very divine cosmic planning. There's a lot of things
Wow.
synchronizing here. My daughter was born on 11 at 11/12, not on at 11/12, and I'm an 11 like in numerology, I'm an
Yeah.
11. So 11, I mean everyone loves
Yeah.
11, but it's I feel like I don't know. I love it too. Like
Yeah.
very much. So
Yeah, you
that's
have an 11th
interesting.
gate.
And it's interesting seeing it as almost a negative, though we don't like to use those terms, but it can be if left
Yeah.
unbalanced. So that's
Yeah.
interesting that like
Yeah.
numbers play so many different parts and they're not always a good. It
Yeah.
just all depends on how you handle it.
Wow. Wow.
That's yeah, that's beautiful. Did you want to show people how to do yours? Like if they had similar to you, just so people can get the idea of how to jimmy through?
Wow. You must have read my mind. So it's interesting. You read my mind because I was thinking about the numbers. You had just said 11, and look at how powerful her 11 is, and that's a special number for her. Okay? You can't make this stuff up.
I know.
And
I am
you
an
can't.
yeah.
And I know that there's sacred geometry in this, but I haven't really dived deep enough to know like where it is or what it looks like.
And I don't think
But
I understand sacred geometry enough for it to correlate. So even if because we were trying that, and it felt like we were hitting a wall. That's why we. So
yeah,
there's everybody has to learn sacred geometry more.
right. And so what is my most significant number is 9. I was born on in September 9th. And I look at this, 4 and 5, that is 9. I mean, I'm just like, whoa.
Yes.
That is really interesting, strange, but so true. So yeah, so my so we just did the personality, and which is so easy to access. What about the unconscious though? My unconscious 45-3 is up here in my eye voice, okay, in my throat, and it's doesn't have a harmon. I mean, it doesn't have a it's not an antenna reaching out. It's a full stream of energy down to the next center, which is the ego center. So I have the full capacity of this 4521. And this is just part of it. This is just a small characteristic of that full channel, if that makes sense. You can't isolate a gate when it is a complete channel. So anybody who's trying to, oh, I have 45th gate, but if you have 45th, 45 to 21, you actually have something completely different. You have the channel of money or a design of a
Oh,
materialist.
okay. So you don't count the gates if you have the full channel. Interesting. Okay.
I mean, it's part of my incarnation cross. So I'm going to have to look at it. I'm going to have to look at that detriment and know that this is 70% of who I am. So yes, my 45th gate has a lot of to do with this left angle cross of dominion down here. So yeah, I do look at it, but it's still not isolated. Does that make sense? It's 70%. The characteristics are there, and it's 70% of who I am, but it's not necessarily just a standalone. It has to be incorporated with the gate 21, which is that full channel. So yeah, this is my nemesis. When I heard this in human design school with Linda, and we read this together as a class, I started crying. Because this was very it blew my mind. First of all, blew my mind, and it gave me the aha that I needed to start healing this. Okay, this
Yeah.
is
Do you want to read it out for anyone that's listening on the
yeah,
podcast?
yeah. So gate 45 is gathering together, the gate of the gatherer, the natural and generally beneficial attraction of like forces. And I'm on a line 3, and I'm unconscious line 3, so constant trial and error, and it's exclusion. So I have the detriment, which has more of the hotspot than all detriments. Anytime you have a down arrow in your human design chart, that is a hotspot that you want to read and look at and sort of become self-aware of. And so mine is an aggressive and often violent reaction to exclusion, the expression of frustration when not included in a material process. And on a personal note, this I was, and I continue to learn through this not included in a material process. And that ego hit is so humbling. It is so humbling. You see how powerful that channel can be? It's a channel of control, it's a channel of I. And then to have a detriment to give you humility, to give you humility.
Yes, I have found learning detriments is actually helpful because it
Yeah.
also allows forgiveness. Because
Yeah.
instead of trying to like railroad yourself and get over that and be like, what's wrong with me? You can just be like, okay, this is literally like you're a cookie and it's part of your ingredients. Okay, so how do we work with it? And like that's so key for helping anyone, especially like lived experience of just to let it go and to work around it and to do what you got to do, but know that it's permanent. It's a part of you. So you have to love it. And that's automatic forgiveness right there.
Another, yeah, and another P word. What would that other P word be? Permanent,
Power,
what?
power,
Power,
potential,
perfection,
perfection.
perfection.
Yes. Because the perfection is just of the self. It's not of an idealized scenario because we are inventing. This is what I keep being reminded of. There is no perfection yet because we are in, especially right now in this ascension period, where we're meant to upgrade years and years and years of time in a month. So, like in the span of 10 years, we will be what our great, 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 great granddaughter should have been. We are going that
That
fast.
fast,
So we
that
should never
fast.
settle and always just be looking at how we can do the best with what we have because it really does. Like I have found, can't think of any offhand, but I know for a fact, well, my need to relax as a projector has caused me to create energy by strategically relaxing. Like
Yeah,
I'm literally learning to do, so that's helping. And then I have more power and just learning. It's so many things, but it's all
yeah.
personal to you and what you're navigating through.
Yeah, yeah. And then so that perfection in the genetic continuity is such a great description of knowing that nothing is isolated in the chart, like that 45th gate, as a detriment. You can look at that and go, oh my God, that's horrible. But then you have to look at the entire chart. I have a lot of power. I have the channel of power, the 57. In fact, let's just show that because do you see this channel of power 5734 literally? And so you put that together with this channel of control. I'm going to control my power for
Mm-hmm.
what am I going to be humble enough to use it for the betterment of society? And then the genetic continuity of how powerful that rigidity in my mind can be, right? So I have a strong mind, I have the channel of power, and I have the channel of control. Ooh, wouldn't you think that divine order, I would get some detriments to help give me some humility? So, yeah. Oh my gosh. So that's just it, you guys. It's all divinely orchestrated.
It's
So
true.
when you,
And because without that humility, you wouldn't get wisdom. You would have a whole
yeah,
bunch of power that would just be empty and maybe vapid, where the
yeah,
humility allows wisdom. Like I found like it's alchemy right there. We can't
yeah,
have the one without the other.
yeah. And so to look at your chart in that holistic way, it all works together in such a fabulous wholeness. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
beautiful. Perfect way to end it right there.
Good. All right. Love it. Love it. Good.
Yes,
All
awesome.
right.
I feel satiated. If any of the
Yep.
audience members has any questions about this or anything else human design, let us know in the comments and we would gladly bring it forth and I can ask Ta for you and we will get the answers. We appreciate your viewership.
All right. Thank you so much, Diana. That was an awesome show. We'll
Yes,
see you
thank
next
you.
time. Bye.